What is happening? Welcome to episode 54 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. The co-host this week, Captain Logan. What's up, man?
How's it going?
It is going very well. It is almost the most wonderful time of the year. I guess it is the most wonderful time of the year. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. All kinds of Christmas music and everything else, all the fun stuff. Before we jump into this, if you guys want to go to audibletrial.com/NPC, there you can get a free audiobook of your choice and help support this show. You can pick up something awesome like Super Mario, How Nintendo Conquered America. Great book. Also, I saw Star Wars this weekend twice, and they showed a preview for Ready Player One, and I would recommend reading that book before seeing the film because I just would. The preview makes, obviously after reading the book, the preview is pretty awesome. So audibletrial.com/NPC. Also, the chair I'm sitting in from OP Seat, their gaming chair, very comfortable, very affordable. You can save yourself $10 by using coupon code N64Josh. That's opseat.com. Coupon code N64Josh. Also, I do have a Patreon now. Patreon.com/N64Josh. You can go check that out. Get yourself an extra podcast for $1 a month. There's also some other tiers as well. So check that out. Patreon.com/N64Josh. And we're done with the commercials. So I want to say, hey, welcome everybody that's hanging out live on twitch.tv/N64Josh. We do this show Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I just want to say hey to K-Cross and Killer for Maxis. Thank you guys for being here. Anybody that's just lurking, we appreciate you and glad you're here. We got a lot of Nintendo stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about just the last year with the Switch and our top 5 games. We're also going to hear from my Discord, the people that have also answered that very question, their top 5 games and their game of the year and their Nindy game of the year. So it's going to be a fun show. I am looking forward to it. I do want to let everybody know that on Friday, this coming Friday, I believe that's December 22nd, I'm not looking at a calendar right now. So at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be streaming. And to show appreciation to all of you guys that show up in my streams on a regular basis, that listen to my different podcasts, I'm giving away a handful of things. One of them being a SNES Classic, a copy of Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, and a $20 eShop card. So, and I might even throw some other things into the mix too. Who knows? But that's going to be 6 o'clock Friday. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/N64Josh. I'm going to be giving this stuff away live on the stream and then mailing it to people. So come hang out. It'll be a good time. So with that, Captain Logan, what you been playing, man?
Oh, man. It's I feel like it's calmed down at work. I've actually gotten a chance to have some more time to game. And should we just start off with Zelda? I think that's kind of the one thing that I've been playing the most of is the DLC came out the night of the Game Awards, and I dug into that, played a ton, and it actually got me back into playing it again. It really kind of ignited that spark for exploring again. So I started up on Master Mode. And holy cow, that game is not kidding with Master Mode. It is really, really hard. Thankfully, it's something that I'm using the Champion amiibo to kind of get me through some parts of it. But I 4 hours into the Master Mode, and I just barely got the paraglider. So like I've died more to water than anything else. Frozen water. That's the most depressing thing, I think. Yeah, it's really bad when you're running around. You're just like, oh, I'm just gonna jump into this water. Oh crap! I just died again, and to water. Nothing else. I've avoided Lionel's, but yeah, the water's gotten me the most.
It's deadly, man. Watch out.
Let's see. Yeah, it's so bad. What else did I get? I got so I played through the Doki Doki Literature Club, which is on Steam. It's free. It's about a 4-hour game, and it seriously messes with your mind. I sat down and played through that, and that was crazy. I did things in that game that I just thought I was like I'm just gonna try this and see what happens, and it totally like recognized it, and it was, I don't want to spoil it. If you have a PC, I don't care if it has Windows XP on it. Download Steam somehow and get that game, because it's gonna mess with you. It's like a dating sim, but it's not a dating sim. It's not a dating sim. Just get through the first hour. Picked up Pinball FX when that came out, Pinball FX3, and I downloaded the Portal table, which is really fun, and The Walking Dead, which I'm actually better at. But that's a great game just to kind of chill out with. I'm digging that. And then of course I just found out that there's a couple good sales going on. So I picked up SteamWorld Dig 2, and I played a little bit of that lately. That's a really fun game. I totally see why people were digging on that when it first came out. No pun intended. And then just as we were talking just before the show, I went and bought the Mummy Demastered, because I know that's another Metroid Castlevania style game that is going to be fun as soon as I get done with SteamWorld Dig 2. And then Mario Kart.
And then Mario Kart. Awesome. Awesome, dude. That's a list, man. That's a list. It's been a busy week. It's been a busy week. You've been streaming a lot of Zelda, though, right?
Yeah, I've had a couple folks come in who haven't seen Master Mode, and so I've been playing mostly Zelda for the DLC and then Master Mode. But I'm really wanting to dig into SteamWorld 2, so I'll probably, God, no pun intended, I swear. So I'm probably going to start streaming that as well, probably either tomorrow night or Friday.
It may be a sign that you talk in too many puns if you don't even realize you're doing it. I'm just throwing that out there. So
the dad jokes are strong with me.
Yeah, they are. They are. So, well, I played some Mario Kart 8 last night on stream. Had a blast. People joined me. It was a ton of fun. I was really glad to do that again. That needs to happen more often, because that makes for incredibly fun streams. Still grinding away on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And finally got to the 4th chapter. I'm a little over 50 hours in, which for anybody that knows me, the fact that I'm still playing this game, like, I'm wondering if hell froze over, because this is not like me. So, but I am really, really enjoying it. So, and highly recommend Xenoblade. So, I did pick up, Logan posted in our Discord, hey, the Mummy Demastered and SteamWorld Dig were on sale. And so I picked up both of those. Immediately jumped into the Mummy Demastered because I loved Contra 4, and it's the same team. At least, I don't know about everybody involved, but a lot of the same team made that game. So I was expecting a Contra-type game. I didn't know that it was a Metroidvania. And so I played the first little tutorial, and then jumped into the game, and I was like, this is like Metroid. And it's not only like Metroid, it's like Metroid Fusion. Like, it totally has that Game Boy Advance, like 32-bit graphics going on, you know, like, still you got pixel art, but it's beautiful pixel art, and there's a lot going on stream, and on screen, and it's funny, like, you know, there's like locusts that you have to kill, but they move just like creatures in Metroid would, you know, jumping from wall to wall and back and forth and everything. And so you've got that whole Egyptian thing going with the mummy, which a lot of people, as soon as we even mention it in the Discord, they're like, is that tied to the movie? It's yes, but it's the best part of the movie. So go get this game if you're into Metroidvania style games. It's really fun. I can't wait to get
How did that even happen? Like, how did they get this awesome game that just kind of appeared out of nowhere based off of that movie? Like,
they're an awesome team. I mean,
man,
kind of whatever they touch turns to gold, I think. They've done a lot of other stuff. I don't know it offhand. Contra was the one. A few of them went, actually, it's been a little bit, so bear with me. My facts may not be completely accurate, but some of the team that left, isn't it Way Forward? Is that who did
The
Concert
Shantae
4?
people?
Yeah, that's them. So some of them left to form Yacht Club, and then went on to make Shovel Knight. So there, it's a lot of talent there. It's a lot of talent. So highly recommend that game. Check it out. I've also played some Pinball Effects, and I also picked up the Portal board.
It's the best Portal we're going to get for a long time, folks.
No, we got a Portal coming to the Switch.
We're not doing the bridge connection. Nope. Not a Portal game.
Not my Portal. Oh my gosh.
It doesn't have, if it has Wheatley, then maybe, but if it doesn't have Wheatley or Gladius, then it's not a Portal game. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. So as far as pickups this week, like I said, picked up a few indie titles and whatnot, but last night we're playing Mario Kart, and it dawned on me, the Steelbook for Mario Kart is at Best Buy. So I ended the stream early, which I didn't need to because their holiday hours are open till 11, not just 9. They're open 2 hours later than normal. So that was a little bit of a bummer. But went and picked up the Steelbook. It looks gorgeous. I'm gonna have a full video on YouTube, just showing it off and taking a bunch of high res pictures and everything because it's really pretty. Pick that up. I did pick up a couple more physical titles. The End is Nigh and the Stern pinball game that is, you can download like one free board, I think, on the eShop. There's a full retail version. So I did pick that up, and you were muted. Hopefully you're not muted.
Yeah, I
now.
think the table is the Frankenstein one, right?
I don't even know. I don't even know. I have the Kart now, so which has everything, I believe. So so upcoming releases, guys. Are you ready for this? Are you guys ready for this week? Do you know how many games there are? 21.
It's ridiculous.
21 games, and a lot of
games.
them look really cool. I can't believe that we're seeing this many games. 21.
Some of them. What really cool ones are you talking about? Because I was digging through the new releases, and I don't know about half of these.
Well, Brawl Out looks pretty cool. It's a Smash clone. I haven't played it yet. The reviews on it seem like they're a little meh. They say the most interesting characters are the characters that are not from the game. Like Juan from Guacamelee is one of the better characters. So I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of why we play like Smash, isn't it? Is to play the characters from the franchises that we like the most. I mean, the Brawl Out doesn't have anyone except for a couple interesting characters, and of course those are the ones that people are going to connect with. But I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of waiting. I honestly, I'm holding off on this one because I'm hoping that in January, if we get a direct, then they're going to announce Smash, and then it's just a waiting game at that point. But I mean, I'm glad that they made Brawl Out, but I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of just wanting Smash.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was watching, I think Game Explain's review video of it. I mean, that game is like, and in some points, it is a blatant ripoff of Smash. So, I mean, you do get that kind of Smash feel with it. But, like, they were showing characters do the exact same moves as Sheik, like, identical moves, So, it may be for some. I know a few people in our Discord picked it up. I haven't really heard either way what they thought. But Lumberjoke 2 mentioned Mom Hid My Game. That was another one that kind of looked just goofy, right? And kind of quirky.
It looks like a WarioWare game,
and
doesn't it?
It's not very expensive. I think it's less than $10. So, and it's kind of like that game that was like featured in like a direct or whatever, like an Indies direct. It feels like it just got stuck in the pile and released. It's kind of what it feels like. As I
Well, I
was
mean,
searching through, I was like, "Oh, hey, that's coming out now." Because there's been a lot of games where like, when is this coming out? Pocket Rumble, that kind of stuff, and I don't think it's ever coming out though.
yeah, yeah, and they're starting to list games coming out for January now, and there's a lot more indie games or nindies coming out, and I don't know, man. I'm kind of wondering like why a game like Mom Hid My Game was something that they decided to showcase.
Quirky WarioWare style, maybe scratch that itch for somebody.
Yeah,
So,
it's
um,
interesting.
but yeah, I mean, I don't. When I said that there's a few of them that looked interesting, I'm basing it just off of their cover art. I'm like, I've looked through them and I'm like, that's piqued my interest. What kind of game is that? One of the things I'm kind of craving on the Switch is a good twin stick shooter, something similar to Geometry Wars, which I don't know why that game just doesn't get released on the Switch because it'd be a
Have
perfect
you
fit. So
have you looked at the Enter the Gungeon? Because that looks like a good twin stick shooter.
I did watch that. The graphics on it are really great. I love the pixel art on it and stuff. So um,
It's fluid too, and a lot of the rooms have like destructible things in there. So it's like you're shooting, and it's not just hitting a wall like Binding of Isaac or something. It's actually like impacting the room as a result. So I mean, it looks amazing. And I mean, if you're looking for a twin stick shooter for $15, I mean, I've heard a couple people in other discords say that they're just waiting to pick this up. But the trailer was awesome. It looks like it's a lot of fun. I'm not the biggest for twin stick shooters, not because of my motor skills, but I think a lot of people would probably have a good time with it.
yeah, yeah. So that may be one I look into a little bit more. Um, like I said, I love that Geometry Wars style game. I've been playing that since it came out. Well, since it came out with Project Gotham on the original Xbox. So it would just be such a great fit. And it was on the Wii and the original DS. So like, I would love to see it make its way over here from the Xbox One and the PS4. Um, we have a lot to talk about tonight. So new Zelda game in development, been confirmed. This isn't really like shocking news, right? I mean, I think most games finish and then they start again, like
I don't know. According to YouTube, this is the most exciting news all week.
I
So
watched a few videos and I was like, why are these people so excited? Like, is this the
they're
first time?
yeah, they're making another Zelda game. People, why hasn't the world stopped?
Shapes asked, how has a visual novel not made it to the Switch? It's called Fates Extella. just just pick that one up if you need a visual novel. So
Would you consider the Batman Telltale games or the Minecraft story mode? Would you consider those a visual novel? Because I kind of feel like that's what those are. You're kind of you hit a button and you continue and you get a little bit of a like turn to page 58 if you want to find out the result of your choice kind of adventure game. But I
right.
kind of think that there's some visual novel stuff out there with the Telltale stuff.
Yeah, that definitely would kind of fall into that category, I think. Then again, I'm not like a huge visual novel guy, so
Are you saying you don't like comic books? Josh,
well, I
that's
mean, I
sacrilege.
I he wants a Marvel subscription on his Switch. I don't know. So, um, yeah. But anyway, Zelda in
Yeah,
development. I have
yeah.
a lot of questions. Same engine?
I have many answers that
Same.
may or may not be true.
You think it's going to be the same engine?
Totally. I think they would be I think it would be ridiculous for them to not capitalize on the engine that they built. This engine has completely changed my perspective on open world games. I want a whole nother story with this quality of just feeling like so open and free. If they could just nail down the story just a little bit more and kind of make it a little more of like a linear thing, I feel like I could really I don't care about the weapon breaking break all my weapons. Take them. I don't need them. I'll run around with stasis and rocks. I'm fine with that, but just keep the engine.
Kirby Geek is booing. I'm not even sure what she's booing at this point, but maybe the same engine. Maybe she's
Switch exclusive Zelda. They could give us that.
not just a Wii U port, please.
Yeah,
Don't.
that has kind of been the thing, right? And it's kind of the discussion that we're talking about. You know, are we going to stick with a Wii U engine, or are we going to get a whole new thing just based off of the Switch?
Well, yeah, and what can they do with the engine? Can they optimize it to be even better for the Switch? You know, how much was Zelda nerfed because of the Wii U?
I think the Wii U I think at the time that they made, or that they were making Zelda, they pretty much, it's kind of like when you get to the end of console's lifespan, you see some of the best games come out for it, the ones that have the most polish, and you know, they feel like the best games for that generation, and it's because they have so much time and so much experience developing for it. I feel like that's what happened with Zelda Breath of the Wild with the Wii U. Is this was the best we were ever going to see with that hardware, and then this is like the bare minimum for the Switch, and I think all they have to do is just optimize it, since it works on both systems at this point.
Yeah, and that begs the question, you know, is this a Switch game for sure that they're working on? Right? Maybe it's a new 3DS title.
Oh man, it's gonna be a Link to the Past 3.
There you go.
It's the top down everyone's been asking for. You guys want a Zelda Breath of the Wild and original Zelda 8-bit graphics? We got one better. It's going to be 16.5 graphics, and it's Zelda A Link to the Past 3.
The reason I have that actually in the notes, though, is it going to be a Switch game? Like, is this something that if they are going to make a new engine, which Kirby Geek says, new engine made for the Switch, I can wait the extra time. But if that is the case, would it even be a Switch game at that point? Would it be the next console? We don't know what Nintendo's plan is, right?
Well, I think they're going to keep the Switch for a while. I mean, I think we'll see another Zelda in this lifespan. I mean, it's just like with when the GameCube and the Wii had Twilight Princess. It was the best game you could get on the GameCube, and it was the bare minimum for the Wii. And then we saw Skyward Sword, which is a completely different engine, whole different take and stuff. And I mean, I don't think it's going to be a whole new engine. I think a lot of people are happy with this engine. I think a lot of people just want a better story narrative through the game, and a new area, or potentially even multiple characters to play with.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, we're gonna get Breath of the Wild 4 Swords. You know, it'll be a 4-player co-op in the open world.
Co-op. Oh man.
You know, I just want to go back to the chat here for a little bit. Shape says new Zelda won't come out for another 6 years, so I'm thinking new engine. Kirby Geek, and who knows if we are getting a 3D one next time. We might get another 2D-ish type one for the next 3D one. Yeah, who knows? Shapes, maybe it's a mobile game.
Not a mobile game.
Right, and I love Shapes with the last comment here. How is this even news? Well, it's more of a talking point than necessarily news, like we said. Like, everyone knows they're making another Zelda game, right? There's no question there. It's more just kind of, you know, what are we going to see? Are we going to see the Twilight Princess Skyward Sword scenario? Or are we going to see the Ocarina Majora's Mask scenario, where same engine, but they end up completely throwing the formula on its face and changing it up? You know, they've said they have lots of ideas and things that didn't make it into Breath of the Wild. So, who knows? Like, what would you prefer? Would you prefer something that looks similar to Breath of the Wild, but just took the the formula and flipped it around and made it crazy, or would you
Well,
prefer the whole new engine, whole new story, all that stuff?
so this is where I'm totally conflicted because, to be perfectly honest, Breath of the Wild is the it's kind of like the Twilight Princess and the Ocarina of Time I always wanted. So I kind of, if we're being honest, I'd actually like a Wind Waker too. I love the cell shading. It grew on me after we saw that Space World, super high res demo with Link fighting in the chapel, and I really, I don't know. I kind of want to see like another Wind Waker. I mean, that was a great world. It was really cute. The combat in that was great. I think they could do another Toon Link outside of the 3DS games and give him another home console experience. And I think people would probably accept it at this point because we've kind of liked the Toon Link now. Everyone's okay with it. Everyone liked it, Kirby. Everyone.
I love the chat right now. Shape says, "Let's make Zelda fresh. I want to play young Ganon. Let's find out why he's evil. Maybe Zelda's mom dumped him in boarding school." Nurse Fern, Toon Link is all I ask. Army Life, I want to see Ocarina of Time. By far the best Zelda ever made. Um,
Kirby doesn't like Toon Link.
Kirby says no one liked it. No one liked it. I loved it. I loved Wind Waker. So
Yeah, Wind Waker was really fun. I think they cut some corners by having you travel from one island to another. But I think with as expansive as Breath of the Wild has given us this world of Hyrule, I think you could do something even more exciting, having like you know random pirate ship attacks while on the seas in Wind Waker, and then a dungeon comes out of nowhere in the form of a pirate ship, and then a storm comes in and you get shipwrecked, and you have to run around and try and beat a dungeon to get an item to fix your boat or something. Like who knows what they could possibly do, but I wouldn't mind having a Breath of the Wild expansion again, another one, a bigger one that gave us more story. But if I'm being honest, I would love to see like another Toon Link home console game. I think that'd be really fun.
so my answer is, it may or may not be a popular choice, but what I would love to see, I would be completely fine seeing a sequel to Breath of the Wild, if you want to call it that, or a game in the same engine. I would be fine with that. What I want to see is I want to see it get back to some Zelda roots without going so far that we get stuck in the same formula of beat this area to get hookshot, then go to this area so that you can. I don't necessarily want to see that. I kind of like what they did with Link to the Past. No, A Link Between Worlds, where you could go and get the items that you needed and rent them and then play the game how you wanted. I thought that was kind of cool. But I think what I would rather see more of the items that we're used to, like the hook shot, boomerang, some of the classic Zelda stuff, but not necessarily tied to those Zelda tropes of, oh, beat this dungeon, get this item. Like that's what I I see the cat back there. That's what I want. I don't want to see it fall back into that category. I also want to see dungeons. I want to see dungeons, and most importantly for me, the one of the weakest areas in Breath of the Wild was the bosses. There was nothing unique about them. There was nothing very interesting about them, and I want to get back to where like there is a certain creature that is in the basement of this dungeon that you need to fight. Like I want to get back to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're going with that. The oh, I just forgot what was the Zelda that was on 3DS just recently. The sequel to Link to the Past called.
Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds. The renting of the items was probably one of the best things I ever saw in that game. It really opened up the game a lot more to be able to kind of explore and do whatever you want and not have to be locked into a certain linear path. But I think a lot of people are definitely are the Gleeok, the three-headed dragons. Yeah, I love those. Um, the I don't know. A lot of people want to have that linear experience again with a Zelda game, and I think that was its biggest fault was is you're always locked into playing Zelda the same way. And I think the thing that really hit so well with Breath of the Wild was is everyone went a different way after a while. You know, they decided what dungeon they wanted to go and explore, and you couldn't talk to some people about some parts of the game because they just hadn't gotten there. And sometimes you're like, oh, well, how did you do this? And you know, it kind of left that open. But I mean, if we were to get something that gave us some of those familiar locations, aside from the water temple, Josh, I can't believe that you actually want to have like an actual water temple again. That is a horrible idea.
I
No
hate
one likes
fun.
water temples.
Just let me have it.
But yeah, I would love to see like some of those old ones. I loved Gleeox. I loved the fighting some of the old bosses, especially Ocarina of Time. So I mean, it could be something that they could explore, kind of reeling it back a little bit from the complete open world and do like a halfway in between Ocarina and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, I mean, looking back on like Ocarina, one of the things that was so great about it was traveling back and forth between the time periods too, right? From young
Yeah,
Link to old Link, and that really helped like tie the story together and tell a really cool story. I felt like Breath of the Wild, I feel like we're just like complaining about Breath of the Wild. That's really not what I want this to like. I hope it's not coming across that way. Like, this is one of the most amazing games I've ever played. Period. Like, it's amazing. But just really like kind of looking at it critically right now, like if we could have played through some of what was just the cutscenes of the 100 years, span, even if they were short, like even if they were just short little, um, almost like they do it all the time in Uncharted. I always forget the name of this, like the where you just got to hit A as you're falling, that kind
oh,
of stuff, like
QTE, QuickTime
quick
events.
time events. The name always escapes my head. Even if it was things like that, where it just kind of helped us engage with the cutscenes and things that were going on, and just to see more of that time frame. I really would have enjoyed that, and it just would have added another element. But if we saw
Yeah,
something again where we went back from young Link to old Link, that kind of stuff, I don't know that I necessarily want that. Um, but something like that like, you know, maybe we truly affect time by something we do and we have to go back and fix it, or just to kind of really just mix it up a little bit, mix it up but still keep it as Zelda as possible. And I may be asking too much, like, and who knows, who knows. I know my biggest thing, I want to fight giant creatures for bosses. I don't want to fight Blight Ganon over and over again. It just was, they were kind of boring and uninteresting to me. Um, and that
you
was
had a
like probably the biggest
you had a lot of
disappointment.
fun with the Dodongo and some of the graveyard Shadow Temple boss. Like some of those bosses were really fun because it stretched your mind onto what mechanics you could use, and a lot of it revolved around trying to work out this puzzle real time with the item you just barely got experience with. And that was kind of the test of the dungeon, was trying to figure out, okay, well, now I have to figure out what I'm doing with this weapon to beat this boss while he's trying to kill me. And with Breath of the Wild, it was more or less just kind of like, okay, we'll figure out what the pattern of Dragon Blight, or not Dragon Blight, Ganon Blight is, and then just kind of work that to your advantage. We didn't have to. We had all the tools we needed. We just had to figure out the order to use them.
Yeah, and I mean, and all of it worked for this game as far as the new tools and everything, um, the bombs and all that stuff. Having them, having access to them, it was fine. I didn't hate that mechanic. I just kind of missed some of the original. Zelda stuff. Killer for Maxis said the cutscenes would have been great. Witcher 3 did interactive cutscenes and they were awesome. And that's what I was hoping for when they first showed this one to us. So, maybe we're kind of in the same boat there. We pretty much hit everything I wanted to with this. Go ahead.
One thing that I really like, if they're making another Zelda game, and I know you guys are listening in Nintendo because this is an awesome enough show to get yours in Nintendo. So I'm throwing this out there right now. If you guys are going to come on stage and say that this game is fully voice acted, I don't want to have to read a single thing and miss part of the story. I want to be able to play this game and hear every single word of dialogue. I don't care how big the game file is. I'll download it and put it on a micro SD card. I'll put it on 3 micro SD cards. Next time, if you're going to hire a whole bunch of really awesome voice actors, do it for all languages and do it so that we can change what language we want to hear it in and make every word audible. Like, give me that option. I was playing through the master mode and listening to the king talk about the story of what happened. Why I was in the Shrine of Resurrection was amazing. I just sat back and chilled the whole time, and it was great. And I want that. I want that for the whole game.
It was interesting having only some of it be voice acted and some of it not. It was like, okay, we got to make up our mind here. What are we doing? What are we doing? So, anyway, as far as other news goes, Wolfenstein 2 is being ported by the same team that did Doom. In my eyes, this is a pretty good thing. Doom turned out pretty good on the Switch, so I'm looking forward to that. I think they've shown they can do
closer to Doom. If it's closer to Doom and not Rocket League, I think it'll be good. But I mean, it's Panic Button. They've got more experience porting, so I mean, it should be a lot better than either. It's just going to be a challenge because this is a much newer game, right?
Sorry, I just read Shapes where he said interesting equals stupid. I don't even. I'm not even sure.
Shapes is saying by ported you mean the same guy in an office moving sliders until the game runs at 30 FPS. Yes, the dude like sitting there like eating a hot pocket, making sure that he can turn down the anti-aliasing, play 30 minutes and then come back. I don't care how many guys are working on it. Just make sure that it runs at a set locked frame rate, preferably 60. I'll take 30. But yeah, Panic. I mean, they're gonna have a little more experience with. I'll jump in and I'll preset these sliders to 4, 5, and 6.
It's just we just need the Doom settings. Can somebody bring me over a jump drive with the Doom settings, please? So
just pull up the Slack channel for what Bill found out the other day with Doom and just grab those values and go with it.
There you go.
Developing's easy.
So, all right, it's a slow news week. All right, I'm doing the best I can. What do you want? What do you want from me? We're gonna talk our top 5 games on Switch, and this is a tough question. I initially was gonna do top 10 games, but that almost makes it too easy. So we're gonna go top 5 games. And chat, feel free to play along. I am gonna open up Discord on the phone, and so that I can get to some answers that we had written there. So, what are your top 5 games on Switch?
Starting with number 5, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdoms. I did not think I was going to say this. I really didn't think so. But that game has captured me. I love those dumb little rabbit thingies. And it's totally made me like XCOM style games. And depending on how other games play like this, if they ever come out with more DLC, I definitely jump into that. But I actually really like that. Even though when I was checking on, because I actually, while we were making this list, I decided to check and see like just hours played, how many hours I've played into it. And I've actually only put 5 hours into Mario plus Rabbids, but it's good enough game. It's a polished enough game that it's probably my fifth best game for the Switch so far. How about you?
So I don't have mine in any particular order, but
No, you have to have a favorite child.
I know. I gotta point out chat real quick. Shape says 1 through 5, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Army Life, Zelda, and Zelda. Top 5. But I would Mario plus Rabbids is a great choice. That's definitely on my list. I was very impressed with that game. It really had that Nintendo charm, even though it was from Ubisoft, and it really kind of stretched me as a gamer in a way, because that's not a typical game I would play, like that style of game. Had fun with it. I'm still currently stuck on a boss because it's fairly difficult and I refuse to hit the easy mode. So, but it's one of those games that every time I see it in my stack, I'm like, oh, I need to play that game again, you know? So like, it may be one I fire up on. I don't know if I want to keep doing it on stream and get made fun of every time I can't beat this boss. So
that's the whole point of streaming,
just
right?
for me to get made fun of. Yeah, that seems that seems to be the case. Can we? That's for another. That's
how we grow.
Look at Kirby's response there. Difficult for Josh with the eyeballs. You know, like I can read the tone in that one. Oh, just wait till the Switch gets a few more first-person shooters. You'll see. I don't suck at all video games. So,
you want to take a stab at 4? I want you to try and make this. You have to decide. You got to come up with a reason.
Okay, we're gonna put them in order then. Gosh. Well, the problem is with this, to put these in an order, we're gonna talk about our game of the year and our top Nindy as well. So, it kind of throws it off a little bit, but
we'll make it work.
I would have to say number 4 is Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I can see that.
Yeah,
you've jumped deep into that pool, and just watching you play, I can totally see why that game is attractive. There's definitely a lot of appeal to it. It's one I just can't wait to get on sale when I don't have a whole bunch of other stuff to play.
Yeah, exactly.
But why do you like it?
You know, honestly, it's the story. The story is it's really just got its hooks in me. I mean, I don't watch anime at all. I even tried. I tried watching the Bayonetta anime because I'm like, ooh, I like Bayonetta. Probably not a good one to start on. I hear that one is like, I looked some reviews and I was like, nobody really likes this thing. So, oh my goodness, that word again.
I can give you a list of some good animes to check out if you're ever interested.
That's what I keep hearing. So
I
just don't like cartoons that much.
Have you found the enemy for that yet though? Like, who's the end boss?
For what?
For Xenoblade, because I mean, you said chapter 4 or chapter 5.
I'm on chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Have you found out who the end boss is for this yet?
No idea.
Oh.
I mean, I have my ideas. I have my guesses, but the thing is, and from my understanding, there's kind of a big twist at some point or something. I'm not sure. I've been really trying to stay away from any kind of spoilers. So
Kylo Ren goes to the light side, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So but no, I mean, not only is the story really good, the gameplay's awesome. You know,
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of RPGs, JRPGs. I like Western RPGs like Mass Effect, Skyrim, that kind of stuff. I really can get into those kind of games. Rarely do I get into this style of game. And so I went into it with a kind of a very open mind, and with the mentality that I need to give this a shot, right? I need to, even though I'm gonna hit. I knew I would hit hurdles immediately, and I did. The first hurdle was I don't control my sword swinging. Like, this is a a bad check for this game, and and then once I figured out why, I love the combat. I absolutely love the combat. I love that I'm you have to time your special attacks so that you're swinging at the right time, and watching what the other characters are doing, and comboing all that stuff together. And I keep getting better at it the more I play it, and I really really enjoy that. So it's a combination of gameplay and story that is really really surprised me that I'm that into it, but I love it. And I mean, and it also has me laughing. There's humor in this game that's like quite funny. Like they do a good job of pulling off humor as well. So it it honestly, that's why I don't want to number these games, because a lot of these Rabbids is definitely my number 5, but the next 4 games, they could all easily be number 1. So what?
Okay. All right.
What is so funny?
Just we're not gonna number these at all. The Mario plus Rabbids is number 5, but we're not gonna number the rest of them. I don't have a favorite child, but I definitely have a least favorite child.
Yeah, see, you understand. I was that kid.
So I went with Splatoon 2 as my number 4, and surprisingly I've actually put the second most time into that game. I put 50 hours at least into that game, and I love that game. It doesn't have its hooks in me as other multiplayer games, but like coming from a spot where I've never played it on the Wii U, I was very very kind of not, I don't know, I wasn't into the whole motion control thing when they were saying, it's got gyro aiming and stuff. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. I'm used to twin sticks and shooting that way. When I got it, it was amazing. The gameplay is fun, it's fast, it's quick to get in and out of games. I want the playing with I want to play with friends better, and I want to be on a team that's outside of ranked mode. So those are my major gripes, but they've supported this game. They've dumped a lot of time into updating it and giving us things that weren't even available in the Wii U version. And I'm really happy with the motion controls. I did not think I'd like this game as much as I do, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. It didn't make my list, unfortunately, although it's probably the runner up. If we were doing top 6, it probably would be there. Like it is a great game. It's a great game. So my number 3, gosh, this is difficult. My number 3 would have to be I'm gonna say Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, that hurts, dude. Oh, that hurts.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Let's just go on.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna throw it. All right. My number 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
There you go.
There. How do you like that? How do you like them apples?
Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt me.
Both really good games. We've talked about Zelda a lot, obviously. I like Mario Kart, and I don't know if you want to talk about it later, but just from my perspective, I think it's a great game. It really hits on my the feelings that I had when I played 64. I've had a good time bringing friends over and playing it. I don't play the battle mode as much as I want to, but it's all everything I want. I would maybe a couple more 64 race. I would love some of the more of those tracks, but solid game. Super good at rubber banding and getting Mario Karted, but I love it. I'm glad they brought it over.
Oh, these guys in chat are just lighting me up right now.
Of course. If there's
Shape
valid
says
reasons.
We can add Wii U games. Killer number 3. Josh hates fun. Like, oh my gosh, these guys. Okay.
All right.
Number 2, Mario Odyssey.
I'm right there with you. Actually, it's right up there with number 2 for me too. I've only put about 20 hours into that, which I think was just enough to cover the main story and then a little bit afterwards. After that, and I don't know, everything else just seems kind of like I'll get it one day, but after the that ending, I was just like, oh, okay, that was amazing. I'm done. I'm good. And then I saw the world right after that. And I was like, okay, we'll go back and we'll play a little bit more with this. But outside of that, that was good enough for me. I'm satisfied. I don't necessarily need anything else from that game.
Uh, yeah, it's an amazing game. I am looking forward to getting back into it. Um, I felt like I had a good fill of it for what I played, but it's still I still want to get back to it. It's just I've got Xenoblade. I've got Xenoblade on the mind right now. So, but my number one is Mario Kart 8, and it's my most played game on the Switch. It's the hours played. Mario Kart 8 is the most hours played.
How many? I'm curious because my number one is my highest number of hours played, and that's
115
Zelda.
hours.
150 hours.
15.
I've got
115.
Oh, 115.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've got 175 in Zelda, and that's my number one game. That game has totally broken the mold for me on what I want, and I'm a huge Zelda fan, as anyone that's listened to me talk about this game should know by now. But dude, I gotta say, Mario Kart 8 as your number one, that is a gutsy move. Since it's literally a Wii U port.
Mm-hmm. To me, I was so excited. I mean, look, I've literally bought Mario Kart 8 4 times now with this giveaway that we're doing. So, and I don't feel bad about it. I mean, it to me is probably one of, if not the best Mario Kart game, and I can still pick it up and play and have so much fun when I jump in and play it with the chat while I'm streaming it. It is some of the most fun I have on stream because, and even the times we've jumped into Discord and stuff, and just to hear people like, oh, you hit me with the blue shell, or oh, you hit me with the green shell, or whatever, like, and and so it is an extremely fun game for me, you know. And maybe everybody, I'm probably going to get tweets about this, but me putting that at number one, I want to make clear it doesn't take away from the other games being great. Like it's just that's what I have the most most time playing, and I love playing with people. So that's that. So I want to read a few from the Discord here. We got Scrap Gear, number 5, Golf Story, number 4, Splatoon, number 3, Fire Emblem Warriors, number 2, Mario Odyssey, number 1, Legend of Zelda. This is Kirby Geek's top 5 in no particular order: Odyssey, Mario plus Rabbids, Splatoon 2, Rocket League, Zelda. Killer for Maxis, Mario. Number 5, Mario and Rabbids. Number 4, Splatoon 2. Number 3, Mario Karts. Number 2, Mario Odyssey. Number 1, Breath of the Wild. Let's see. Lumberjoke, top 5, SteamWorld Dig 2, Golf Story, Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild. G.I. Jello, SteamWorld Dig, let's see, Mario plus Rabbids, ARMS, Splatoon 2, Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild. Nightcrawler, we got Xenoblade, Golf Story, Splatoon, Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild. So Hate Zero, Floor Kids, Golf Story, Mario Odyssey, Zelda, and Rabbids. I don't think that's in any particular order. Crazy Legs, Zelda, Mario, Splatoon, ARMS, and Rocket League. Jamalisms. Let's see here. He's wrote a lot.
We're not getting many people with ARMS. I'm really
few.
Just kind of surprising.
Just a few. Let's see. Zelda. I can't. Looks like Zelda and Mario. Kind of depends. I don't know. He wrote a lot here. Splatoon 2, Mario Kart are easy top 4. So the way he worded everything, it makes it. I'm gonna have to read a
Yeah, I
freaking
was
novel.
having a hard time. I'm
so
like, wait, is he saying that
so
he likes that, or is he
yeah, I
saying that
don't
he?
know. I don't know. So
Okay.
we'll have to get that one next time. But Lumberjoke put least favorite Double Dragon 4. I love it. So I did want to put biggest surprise, and you guys in chat can feel free to answer. Oh, there was a couple in chat though. Where did it go? There we go. Mirage Leonardo
Mirage.
says my top 5 Switch games: Arms, Odyssey, Xenoblade, Rabbids, Floor Kids. No particular order. So no Zelda in that one. So that's interesting. Most of them had Zelda. So
Must not have bought it.
um, so let's see. My biggest surprise for 2017 was Metroid 2: Samus Returns. Probably that would probably be my biggest surprise. When I was at work watching E3, I was like, "What?" Like I couldn't believe it. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite franchises. One of my favorite games, and getting a stellar remake, like that was definitely a surprise. How about you, Bud? What's a big surprise for you?
Yeah, I really dig the Mario or the Metroid 2 coming out. I was actually I think my biggest surprise actually is another 3DS title, but Minecraft.
Mm.
I was sure that was on everything. I had no idea that they didn't bring Minecraft to the 3DS, but the fact that they're still making 3DSs and 2DSs, and if you get a new 3DS or a new 2DS, then you can pick up Minecraft. So I mean, kids will have that. I mean, that game is still going to be as big as it is, no matter what system it's on. But I was just really surprised. I thought that was on there already.
Yeah,
So
it was one of those games I always was like, why isn't this out on this system yet? So um, as far as looks like Nightcrawler said Golf Story. Um, yeah, I'm sure we'll get another few answers here in a second. Top Nindy. What do you got? What's your top Nindy? This was another one that's hard for me.
yeah, I actually had a hard time with this, but just because it was just recently, I have not picked up many Nindies because I've been waiting for a lot of them to kind of go on sale, and Steam World Dig 2 just dropped in price enough for me to make it an impulse buy. So if I had to pick the top Nindy, I'd probably go with Sonic Mania. That game hits every nostalgia button for a Sonic game I could ever imagine I ever had, and I wasn't a Genesis kid at all. But playing that game and knowing that it came from indie studios, and that the other Sonic game that we got this year was just such hot garbage on a stick, as RGS would put it, that I love the Sonic game. It was great. I wish that those guys could do more.
Yeah, that was a stellar title. That was. This was a tough choice for me because um, I had to base my decision off of. I said, what did I have the most fun playing with my family? And this game kind of um, took the cake. And of course, it's 1-2 switch. No, I'm just kidding. That's my game of the year. No, before I say mine, for surprises, Kirby Geek says Valkyrie Chronicles 4 close by the Bayo 3 announcement. Mirage Leonardo biggest surprise was Floor Kids. So, but my Nindy is Overcooked because that's the one game that if we're all kind of just hanging out on the couch, not doing much, my wife or my kids will be like, hey, let's play Overcooked. Like it was the one game that we could like continually go back to and do 4-player, have a really good time with. And so, I mean, Overcooked is a great Nindy. There's so many though. Like there's so many. The titles have been just one after another really good.
Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah, stellar. Golf Story, stellar. Rocket League, yeah.
And just as a side note too, as of today, 12/19, Overcooked is 20% off. So normally it's $20. You can pick it up for 16. If you guys haven't picked this up, this would be a fun game during the holidays to play with family. Because if you're already hating your family, or if you're loving your family, you could totally go either way with this one. It's a good game.
And chat's asking if it was if they patched it yet, and I wasn't sure. I don't even know what the patch is for, honestly.
It was the frame rate issues that they were dealing with at launch. I'm pretty sure that they did patch it. It doesn't actually say what version it is on the eShop, unfortunately. Yeah. But the sale for that, they do say that the sale ends on 12/28. So you do actually have time. If you're listening to this and you don't have a Switch and you have family members and you get a Switch for Christmas, pick up Overcooked. $16 is totally worth it, and it's going to be on sale for the holidays. So that would be fun. 1 to 4 players.
Yeah, Rocket League is on sale as well.
Oh man, yeah, so many good games on sale right now.
Yeah, a lot of good games on sale. So, chat. I know from our Discord there was a lot. We're getting close on time, so I want to wrap this up. But from our Discord, I know Floor Kids was a lot of a few choices for people. Golf Story was a few choices for people. Like a lot of great indies out there. But it's Game of the Year time. My Game of the Year. It's gonna be told to you guys right after Logan tells us his. What was your Game of the Year, buddy?
It's bury the lead. What are you doing? Oh my god, you're too much. So my Game of the Year, hands down. Oh man, I get worked up just thinking about this game. Like, there are moments in this game that had me crying because I just couldn't believe what was going on in the story. I've never seen Zelda realized so fully in a game. I think the closest I ever got to it was in the end of Twilight Princess. That was probably the closest I'd gotten to seeing the battle between Ganon and Zelda and Link kind of come to that kind of a climax. But Zelda was a transformative experience for me when it came to games, and I love what they've done with it. I think they've done an amazing job with the DLC. I couldn't be happier to dig into this game with even more of a challenge once I've already beaten it on the normal modes. The amiibo that they've come out with this have been some of the most beautiful pieces of like, you know, beautiful toys I've ever seen for a Zelda game, and I cannot wait to get more of this game when it comes down to it. Yeah.
It's a stellar title, man. Like, it's really a stellar game. I had the hardest time with this. I had the hardest time with this watching the Game Awards. I had the hardest time with this just thinking about it all day today and trying to decide what was my Game of the Year. Zelda had so many great moments. Breath of the Wild had so many great moments. Great story, great gameplay. I didn't mind the weapons breaking. I thought that was fine. It had you using different weapons, you know. I'm kind of a creature of habit when it comes to games like that, and I would have just only used one weapon. Even having the Master Sword not you know, it doesn't break, but it loses its charge. I would only use that if that was possible, because that's me. So having these weapons that break and trying out different things, you know, it added to the fun of the game. The physics in the game, my word, you know, being able to, even in the DLC, I got stuck on a puzzle because I forgot I could use water because it had been so long, like the ice cubes. It had been so long since I'd used that. I was literally taking off every sword and shield, everything I had, and making a line to get electricity to flow. And I was like, I literally almost beat this puzzle that you were supposed to use ice cubes on. I was like a shield away. I'm like, I got to go collect more metal. That's the only way to beat this puzzle. And then I remembered, you know, I didn't have to. So all that stuff, the puzzles, everything. There's so much great about that game. But I went with Mario Odyssey. And I went with it because I don't know that I've smiled so much playing a game. The end of that game made me feel more like a child that didn't have to think about anything but just enjoy the moment. Nothing has done that like Odyssey did. And I'm not even going to spoil. I don't want to spoil it. I know because there's some people that probably haven't even had a chance to play it yet or beat it. And so I won't spoil that. But the end of that game was probably my favorite gaming moment in 2017. Getting to the steps you have to take to complete that game. It was magic for me. So that's what got my game of the year, Mario Odyssey. So I'm watching viewers drop in our stream, like everyone's leaving. I'm out.
Good night, everybody.
See you later.
It's like, what a year! Like, dude, 10 years from now, like 2017 is going to be like an epoch in gaming history, and it's not going to be because of PUBG. I'm sorry. Like, everyone's accepted. Like, we all understand. We're playing GoldenEye online. That's cool. The Switch has just nailed this year, and Mario and Zelda with, a Metroid on the horizon and a Pokemon on the horizon, like, it's almost like there's just no way that this system is going to fail. I mean, we're over 10 million units without even it being the holiday season. It's just, dude, like, I can't imagine what we're gonna be sitting back and talking about. Like, yeah, I remember 2017. I was a first adopter for that Switch. That was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Time to put my VR goggles back on and sit back and not do anything.
Oh man. I want to do a few of our Game of the Year's. Hate Zero, Zelda. It says probably goes to Zelda, so he seems a little unsure. Kirby in chat says she agrees with my choice, so that's good. Nightcrawler Game of the Year, Breath of the Wild. G.I. Jello, Breath of the Wild. Lumberjoke, Breath of the Wild. Kirby Odyssey Game of the Year. Killer from Axis, Breath of the Wild. Scrap Gear, Breath of the Wild as well. So I love that it was so hard to decide what our Game of the Year was for a Nintendo console, because there were so many games. And honestly, if things keep going the way they are going, next year potentially could be huge. And I hope we see some new IP from Nintendo that becomes a runner-up for Game of the Year, becomes a possible Game of the Year as brand new IP. I hope that's something that's in our future. So who knows? With third parties on board, the possibilities of games like, I mean, we may end up with a lot of ports next year. Who knows? I mean, and 2017 is going to be a tough act to follow. It's going to be.
It's going to be almost impossible to follow.
Yeah.
They only have two major franchises in America that sell as well as they do, and that's Mario and Zelda. And they've already thrown that on the table and said, Sony, Microsoft, what do you guys got? Because we got Zelda, we got Mario. Good luck. Yeah.
Well, and I'm fairly certain that Mario Kart, Mario, and Zelda are all like top sellers. And they're all relatively close to the amount of sales. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to, but I remember Nintendo tweeted something out about the three of them. I just don't remember now. It kind of slipped my memory. So, but wow, hey, this has been fun. It's been difficult. I'm like sweating, like, I don't know. So if you completely disagree with all my stuff, you're gonna find me on Twitter at N64Josh, so you can hit me up there. Logan, where can people find you?
I'm going to be on Twitter at CAPT_LOGUN. That's capt_Logan. Find same place on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming 3 days a week throughout the week, a couple hours a night. Pacific Coast time. Sorry, East Coast. But yeah, you can come yell at me for some of my my things too. I will gladly debate anyone on my decisions and defend them with honor.
With honor. So, guys, you are going to find me everywhere as N64Josh. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Snapchat, which I'm using more regularly. So if you want to see me fumble around Snapchat, you know, I might even start using some of these filters. My daughter's been teaching me. So,
oh my.
Yeah. Basically singing Christmas carols. So if you want to hear me singing Christmas carols in my story, go check out Snapchat. I'm having a ton of fun on Instagram with photos. So anyway, and I do have Patreon now, like we mentioned early on. If you want to get an extra podcast, go check that out. Remember, audibletrial.com/NPC. Get yourself a free audiobook. OPSeat, it's the gaming chair I'm sitting in. I love it. It's opseat.com. Use coupon code N64Josh. And, if you're thinking about starting your own podcast, go to podbean.com/NPC and do a free trial. Get a podcast going yourself. It's a ton of fun. So thank you guys so much for being here live. We appreciate you. Mirage Leonardo, Kirby Geek, Hatred, Shaped Like a Man, Killer for Maxis. See if I'm missing anybody here. Nightcrawler, anybody that's just lurking, thank you guys. We really, really appreciate you being here. Remember, Friday, I'm going to be doing the stream starting at 6 o'clock, giving away a SNES Classic, a copy of Mario Kart 8, and a $20 eShop gift card. So come hang out. I might even pull out my guitar and sing some Christmas carols. I think we're going to have fun. Nice. Probably playing some Mario Kart, maybe even playing a little bit of the SNES Classic, just kind of looking at some of the games on there. So who knows? It'll be a good time for sure. So if you guys are enjoying the show, please leave us a review on iTunes. I'd really, really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. You'll be able to find all the links, anything we mentioned, whatever. It's all going to be in the show notes at thelootcave.com/NPC54. So Captain Logan, thank you, bud. I appreciate you.
Pleasure, as always.
You guys take it easy. All right, chat. Thank you for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you. Let's go raid somebody real quick. And I'm going to get these shows uploaded. So let's see who is live right now. Come on. There we go. There we go. Looks like... Do you guys remember Metroid McFly? Let's go say hi to him. It's been a while. He's speed running Metroid as usual. So... All right, here's his link. Guys, thank you so much for your time, for hanging out. Let's hit him with a N64 raid. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later.